Hololive Cloudy skies and a temperate climate awaits at the drivers as we're set to undergo round 3 of the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. It's a warm and humid at Sepang International Circuit, as we're going to be taking a look into the track map here. 5.5 thousand kilometers of racetrack awaits us for round 3 of the season. It's the second longest track of the calendar. Track width is between 16 to 20 meters, so I expect a lot of 3 wide, 4 wide passes, 15 corners, 5 to the left, 10 to the right, as we're going to go 19 laps here in Sepang, Selangor. It's the home race for 5 drivers here, but 4 of the drivers here will be racing today in Split A. That's going to be Muhammad Shazren Reza, Muhammad Zohair, Kizuhara Leo, and Azan. And also, we're going to be taking a look into the target lap time of around 2 minute 02.750. And as we're going to be taking a look into the championship permutations here, Muhammad Shazren Reza leads the championship standings after a dominant run in Okayama with 2 wins in a row there. 243 points for the Malaysian, Kizuhara Leo, the other Malaysian. After a very good run in Fuji, kind of faltered just a little bit at Okayama with only 180 points after those 2 rounds. Just to note that he AFK'd on the race 2 at Okayama, which explains why he couldn't score as much points. So Paulie managed to have a good run with 2 good races in Okayama. That elevated him from around the 6th to 10th in the championship standings to 3rd. Mawazoya is being consistent. He's staying up there in the top 5 with 139 points. Callum Gibbons rounds out the top 5 in the championship with 123 points after also a subpar run in Okayama. Kento Shida, on the other hand, is going to make his series debut, driving the number 41 Hoshimachi Suisei Nissan, taking over the ride from the now departed Philip Dev. He inherits 112 points from the Croatian. Darren Ellis' number 35 Sakura Miko managed to obtain 110 points throughout the 2 rounds that we have hosted so far. Alex Grant and Dan Powell is looking to need some improvements in their championship hopes after not so good run in Okayama. 89 and 75 points only for them. Abiazat with only 65 points. However, he was nearly last in the championship standings. He is now up in the top 10 after 2 consecutive 5th place finishes for the number 12 ASCII. Miguel Castro, Santini, Gabriel Ariadne are looking to find improvements for round 3 as well. They are now in the bottom 5 of the championship. Alex Bowen and Raja Kaczynski, especially, you need a very good run in order to have any hope of climbing up the championship ladder. And as we're going to be transitioning over to qualifying, joining me in the commentary booth is Hall GT3 competitor Callum Gibbons. So, Callum Gibbons, can you tell us more about Sepang International Circuit?
Yes, good day everyone, good to be back here for round 3 at Sepang. So very different kind of circuit to what we had last one at Okayama. Okayama more of a short, like lower speed circuit, but this one's a much more open circuit. As a former Formula 1 Grand Prix track and as currently a MotoGP venue as well, it's got a good mixture of really long straights, highly technical medium and slow speed corners to test the drivers today.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a look into all the other drivers here. Here is Alex Grant representing Amane Kanata, the number 57 Nissan. As we're going to be talking about the performance of the cars here. Now, the Nissans have been tipped to be the favorites to win here. They have been very fast throughout the first 2 rounds, and it's no surprise that they're also going to be quite fast as well here round 3 in Sepang. Now, one of the characteristics of the Sepang circuit is with its long straights and especially with its long straights and them not having too much of a disadvantage in the higher speed. Okay, they're a bit at disadvantage. Okay, they are quite fast in the high speed corners, but so yeah, this is the track that they where the Nissan will benefit the most. Meanwhile, the Lexus, this is one of their ballparks actually, with high speed corners and low speed corners galore. We would like to expect the Lexus to have the highest cornering speed out of every car out of all the 3 cars on the track. As for the Honda, on the other hand, the Honda is currently on a slight back foot after having 2 quite good cars throughout the first 2 rounds of the season. They can only really benefit on the slow corners, and couldn't really benefit much on the straight line speed compared to the Nissan, and not much speed in the corners there compared to the Lexus. And so yeah, we're going to be scrolling into some of the other drivers here. Let's talk about Kento Shiden for a bit. He is one of the new world drivers in the Hololive GT3 Japan series. He makes his series debut here. This is his first competitive session of his career in Hololive GT3. He is finally able to represent his Hoshimachi Suisei. We've talked about Hoshimachi Suisei at large, and how she has had her rags to riches story of being a Hololive Idol member and all that stuff. So as we're going to be going on board with the young Canadian from Ontario, Gibbo, how about we set about commentary on his lap?
Well, yes, of course, Sepang very much longer circuit compared to the other tracks we've been at, so not many opportunity for laps here. So if you've got to get your laps in, you've got to get good ones in. So around the final corner, trying to get a good exit, set himself up for his first flying lap. Very long front straight, so good chance to really set yourself up, prepare yourself for the hard braking zone of turn 1. 5th gear, so it's getting hard braking around the 100-meter ball into 3rd. Now 2nd gear, 1st gear in fact as well for turn 1. Can still maintain that slow speed into turn 2, so just tucking nicely in there. 1st gear still, keep it nice and easy. Throughout turn 3, should be flat out through there. Good long sweeping corner, not really much difficulty there. And then head into another hard braking zone of turn 4, braking at around getting 100-meter board into 2nd gear. Takes a good bit of curb there. again, heading towards a few with this track, long sweeping corners, heading to another long left-hander, turn 5, gets a little bit squirrelish there, but still keeping it all together, tucked in again, nice into turn 6, and then heading into a double right-handers of turn 7 and 8, you've got to get a little bit wide on the first apex, compromises the second part of that corner, but still keeping it on the track. Now another hard braking zone into the hairpin of turn 9, this plays second or first gear corner, again first gear corner this time. And then just immediately right into turns 10 and 11, so 115.8 for the second sector. Nice and tidy there, good exit, and now heading into turns 12 and 13, wide entry. Nicely tucked in, and a bit of a hard section of corners to get right hands to the back straight. You really got to get your line right, get a good exit as if you don't want to compromise yourself on this very, very long back straight here. Probably just a bit too far away for the car in front to get a decent slipstream, but it should have good enough straight line speed for this lap. You see, got laps in there already. Gibbons up there with 205.6, followed by Grant and Leo. Hard brake into the final corner. Nicely tucked in, decent exit. So we're looking for a 205.2 on this lap if we want to get provisional pole. And here we have a 205.3, set in second place. So a very good first lap for him.
Very good lap there from Shiden on his debut appearance in Hololive GT3. Dan Powell has almost at a lap at 204.945. What a way for Powell to actually try to bounce back from his woes in Okayama. With a 204.9, he's dead set to get provisional poles. Mama Zohair is also set a lap 1.4 seconds behind the pole sitter right now, looking at Sean Pauly, who's going to complete his flying lap. It's going to be a 206.965, far slower than Sean Pauly. He's going to be 2 seconds behind, not much there from the British. Garrett Ellis rounds on the final corner, representing the number 35, Sakuramiko Honda. 157, 158, crossing the final turn. It will be 2 minutes 02, then 3, then 4. What's it going to be? It's a 205.53 for Jared Ellis. He places himself 5th. Pierre Castro is not looking too bad at all. 3rd place for Pierre Castro. Not bad.
Good times coming from everyone. Lexus obviously wanting to have better fortunes than they had at Okayama. And looks like at most of the time we have for qualifying, they're mostly going to get 2 flying laps in. So make those laps count.
Yeah, make those laps count indeed. As if you get out of the track just as qualifying started, you may have only 2 or 3 qualifying laps as compared to, let's say, Sugo, where you may be able to get away with 4, at maximum 4 qualifying laps. And here's outside the last driver to cross the line, representing Aski, well placed from the Malaysian.
Very decent lap there, 205.7. Will play one a bit better than that for his last flying lap. Yabo not really improving, still sitting 7 tenths off the leader of Hal, the only one in the 204 so far.
Yeah, as we're going to be looking at that in 4th place for him. Right, he's going to miss. Kentoshida is going to try again. He has tried in the second lap just a few minutes earlier. Let's see what Kentoshida can do. Still qualify 7 as we're about to finish the qualifying session. Dan Powell improves on his lap time by 100th of a second. He now basically has provisional pole. Let's see if Muhammad Zuhair can challenge him. But it looks like he is going to qualify outside the top 10, 206.31, only 1.4 seconds behind. So we'll be scrolling into some of the other drivers here. Sean Pauly is about to cross the line. Exiting turn 15, the final turn, setting it up for the ball for straight. 2 minutes 04, 5, 6 does improve, but only 2 tenths. Still is going to qualify at the back of the field. Jared Ellis is going to come across the line. He is about to reach turn 15, exits turn 15 into the, well, in F1 it's called the DRS zone, but we don't really have DRS in the GT3 cars. I'm just talking about GT1 cars, or GT2 cars that we are seeing in, actually no, not GT2 cars, the Group 1 cars. Meanwhile, Jared Ellis does not improve. Miguel Castro holds on to 6. Alex Bowen locks out the front row start. Latenti, 3rd place, is not able to challenge him. Ariadne is also going to be bouncing back after a dismal run. Not exactly a dismal run, but a subpar run in Okayama. We're about to see the last drivers here. We're going to be looking into the last driver, Abiyazat. Was about to cross the line. into the final turn. And look at that, he's going to peel into the pits. And that is qualifying over as we're going to be transitioning over into the race. So, Gimbo, what are your thoughts of the qualifying session?
Yeah, good performance from the Lexus game there, so really reversing their fortunes from Okayama, and hopefully their race pace holds up this time.
Yeah, as we're going to be talking about race pace here, we're actually going to be talking about what you call the bit of a testing there for multiple cars out there. We have done a lot of testing, they have said, about the Lexus drivers here. And obviously they checked the tires, they checked the fuel, and with a more thorough inspection there, we're not going to be seeing the Lexus trying to run away with fuel strategy. And we're going to be taking a look into some of the prospects for the drivers here. Yes, the Lexus is going to be the favorites to win this race if it's not going to be the Nissan, because the Hondas, well, they have the ability for straight line speed, and they may just be able to overtake the Lexus cars on track. But we just will see as we're going to be taking a look into the starting grid of the drivers here. Dan Powell scores actually the first pole that is not a Nissan in Hol GT3. He scores the first pole for a Lexus representing Natsuro Masri. Good job from the American. Alex Bowen with, I believe, not exactly our best ever qualifying start, but it is our best ever qualifying start in Split A, representing Shirogai No, the number 08 Lexus. Santini also qualifying quite well. He's also looking to rebound from Okayama in the number 77 Momosuzu Nene Lexus. Alongside Santini, Mamasha Reza in the number 31 Himemori Luna Honda. And behind him is fellow Gen 4 teammate Gabriel Ariadne in the number 10 Tokoyami Toa Honda. Miguel Castro in the number 46 Omaro Polka Lexus. Let's see if we can not finish 7 this time. Kento Shiden's debut race. Qualified 7, good job from the Canadian representing the Hoshimachi Suisse. Raj Kaczynski also qualifying quite well in 8, representing Hosha Marine in the number 6 Lexus. Darren Ellis in 9th for Sakura Miko in the number 35 Sakura Miko Honda. Callum Gibbons qualifies 10th, just within the points in the number 48 Ozora Subaru Lexus. And then we have Alex Grant in the number 57 Amane Kanata Nissan. He qualifies 11. And then we have Malaysian 12, 13, 14 Azan in 12 in the number 12 Azuki Nissan. Kizuhara Leo, currently runner-up in the championship. Let's see what he can do in 13th in the number 8 Akai Hato Honda. Mama Zohair in the number 22 Shirakami Fubuki Nissan. He qualifies 14th. And rounding up the back of the field, Sean Pauly with the number 56 Inogami Korone Honda, as we're going to be transitioning over into the race. And here it is, 15 cars lined up on the grid. It's going to be 5 red lights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's Dan Powell on pole, and with Alex Moore right beside him. And we are underway here in Sepang. Oh, it's a good launch there by a lot of these drivers here. We're going to be taking a look here into some of the drivers here. You look at Dan Powell having a good launch there. Alex Bowen is side by side into turn 1. A lot of drivers jostling for position. It's nearly 4 wide there at the back. So Dan Powell is holding off quite well. Oh, there's contact there. Alex Grant has been hit by some other driver here, and it looks like he's got a lot of damage on the rear. He was going to be taking a look at some other drivers here. Dan Powell, Alex Bowen is going to try to make a move around the outside, and Ariadne and Shazren Reza, Gen 4 teammates, representing Himemori Luna and Tokemi Toa, and it looks like side-by-side battles between 2 drivers. Actually 4 drivers here for 2 positions. We have the Lexus car fighting for the lead, and Alex Bowen takes the lead. For the first time, I believe, in Hol GT3, Alex Bowen takes the lead. Dan Powell's in 2nd, Mawasha Reza is in 3rd, Ariadne is in 4th, Shiden climbs up to 5th, Santini drops down to 6th, Castro down up to, still in 7th there. Look at Ellis and Kaczynski, because he's going to try to make a move down the inside, but it's too far back, and Abiasar now rounds out the points.
Yeah, still Lexus 1-2 at this point. I've got the Honda still absolutely breathing down their neck. One auto big dive there from Ariadne.
Oh, there's contact! Oh, there's contact there between the Gen 4 teammates there. Mama Shadira Reza and Gabriel Ariadne tried to make the ambitious dive bomb into turn 9. They try to make it 3 wide, it just doesn't work there. And now both of these cars have damage. And Ariane is going to go around the inside of Shazren into turn 12, into the 30-40 section. Oh, there's a bit more contact there between the two Hondas. Oh, we see Shazren go up in the air just a little bit, manages to catch the car. How did he manage to catch the car there? Meanwhile, we'll be seeing another generation fight between Santini and Miguel Castro. Miguel Castro has lost out and is now under pressure from Jared Ellis at the back.
Yeah, still scuffling there, trying to get into each other's slipstream for that good straight line speed heading into the final corner. Interesting antics from the Hondas there, like, you know, first lap of 19, like, you know, there's plenty of time to set up your moves, but they just want to get aggressive from the get-go.
Yes, we're speaking of aggressiveness, we are seeing some more of the drivers there. We are seeing the Lexus being under pressure from the Nissans there. Zuhair's now climbed up to 11th. And actually, we haven't been picking up some of the drivers here. We'll look at Mohamed Zuhair down the inside. And Miguel Castro down the inside of, let's see, Raja Kaczynski and Jared Ellis respectively. A lot of tussling and battling for position. Looks like it's going to be quite some battles here into the second lap there. Look at Mohamed Zuhair trying to climb himself back up into the points after starting 14th. Good job there from the Malaysian.
Yeah, good first lap there, still navigating all around the chaos around him and keeping it tidy, mostly.
Keeping it tidy, these drivers there. Azad being the second highest Malaysian in the field right now, looking for his win here at home at Sepang International Circuit there. Azad, look at the front end, it's a bit damaged there, but it looks like he's going okay, and we're going to be taking a look into the progress chart. Azad is the biggest gainer alongside Mohamed Zuhair. Both Nissan drivers have gained 4 positions from the start. Meanwhile, Mohamed Reza is going to try to make a move around the outside of turn 9 out into Kumbed Alex Bowen, and looks like Mohamed Reza is continuing his form from Okayama and is now taking the lead of the race.
Yeah, clearly the damage not really bothering him, still getting that Honda around pretty well. To the rest of the field, there still looks like they're all starting to settle one another, start getting single file and a bit less argy-bargy at the moment, so hopefully just setting themselves up for their strategy.
Yeah, speaking of strategy, we're going to be taking a look into the race fuel monitor. Mohamed is actually fuel to the brim there, 43 liters of fuel for the Malaysian there. Jared Ellis is probably top up quite less, and Azad as well. Look at Ariadne down the inside of Dan Powell. Meanwhile, as he's going to take the podium position from the American there, representing Natsuro Matsuri. We're going to be taking a look into the pit strategies. Alex Grant has actually topped up quite less fuel, and it looks like he's going to be the first driver who is going to pit this lap. And then after that, it's going to be Santini and all the other drivers. We're going 3 wide, just a little bit there. Look at that, Kento Shiden. Kento Shiden is on the inside of Dan Powell. It's a sitting duck there with the 1 kilometer long straight, and it looks like the Canadian has now jumped up to 4th.
Yeah, maybe his debut was definitely not afraid to get in there amongst those more seasoned veterans, or veterans if you want to call it that, in the 3rd round, but still, despite the less experience, having a good go at it.
He was having a good go in as well. Meanwhile, we'll be taking a look into the rest of the field there. I don't think we are catching some of the drivers here. There's actually 5 Hondas there, but but the scoreboard, the timing beam has not picked up a Honda driver. Meanwhile, Ariadne is looking to make a statement there. He's going to try to claw back second try to go for the late apex exit, but doesn't matter. It's going to be a 3-horse race for second. Look at this, Shiden really throwing his elbows out, pulling out all the stops there, the young Canadian, but takes too much of the track on the inside, hits the track, and has to cede the place to Ariadne.
Yeah, a little bit of an ambitious dive there, just couldn't get that drive from the apex. We'll hopefully try and just settle back in, just tuck in behind Ariadne and get that slipstream down the back straight before the final corner.
And as we're going to be taking a look into some of the Honda drivers here, we have not properly picked up Kaicho, who is, I believe, out of the race. We're going to be taking a look into what happened to Leo at the start. Another heartbreak from the young Malaysian after it's basically 2 consecutive DNFs there. Meanwhile, Dan Powell is going backwards there. Looks like he has a setup for qualifying, but in this race, Dan Powell is falling just a little bit, and it looks like after being overtaken by Nee, he's going to be under pressure from Ellis, as we're going to be taking a look into all the other drivers here.
Yeah, despite our initial thoughts on the Honda possibly not being favourites, they've really turned it around in their race pace, with Shazren are already breaking a 3.5 second lead.
Yes, speaking of Shazren, he is really showing to everyone that he is no slouch, he is no pushover in the series. When he says he's going to lead, he is going to lead, and when he says he's going to dominate, he's going to dominate indeed. And speaking of domination, I think Jared Ellis is not far behind of Powell, who is just like at Fuji, a sitting duck for the Nissans and Hondas. Meanwhile, Shinen is actually not far behind. He is currently the fastest Nissan in the field. As we're going to be taking a look again at the race field monitor, who is going to pit first. Looks like it's going to be Alex Grant still, then Alex Bowen, and then Azad, and then Jared Ellis. And watch out for these two drivers. Watch out for these drivers. They'll be the ones to pit first.
Yeah, expecting a one-stop strategy for these races today. We'll hopefully close up all those loopholes about fuel tank sizes and teams wanting to go with no stop or even two stop, which we've decided is not really favourable. So I think one stop is the expected outcome for today.
Jared Ellis is looking very, very close to Powell. Looking at the gaps right now, looking at the intervals there, Ellis is looking 4 tenths behind Powell. Really close there, really close contact there with the contact at camera. Well, as the driver is going to single file into sector 3, here is where the action is going to start to pick up there. Look at this. Jared Ellis is going to try to make a move around the outside, but he's actually going to go for the very, very late apex. Look at Dan Powell. He's actually very slow coming off the corner. He's going to be side by side with Ellis, who's going to be surefire to take the position. But don't count Azad out of this. He's going to go 3 wide there into the final turn. Let's see what Azad can do. Both drivers have overtaken. Oh, both drivers have overtaken Powell at turn 15. And it looks like Azad has the better traction compared to Jared Ellis, and is gonna be looking to take 5th place from Santini. Started 6th. Meanwhile, Alex Bowen has been overtaken by Santini there. On board with the number 08 guy, no Lexus, as we're gonna be seeing another side-by-side battle for 6th. Jared Ellis on the outside, Abiazar on the inside. And one's going to go back to the inside again. Therefore, Jared Ellis takes quite some corner, and that's going to hamper his drive just a little bit now. Muhammad Zuhair and Miguel Castro are battling each other side by side. It's great racing here in Sepang.
Yeah, going very well so far. Despite the argy-bargy in the first lap, they've gone some good, clean battles at the moment.
Yes, it was pretty messy there on the first lap, but now as we're going to be settling into the race there, we're seeing some maneuvers here as well. Abiazad has confirmed his move on Jared Ellis that he now takes 6. And as we'll be taking a look at some of the other drivers there, Muhammad Zuhair has made the pass on Miguel Castro. As we're going to be taking a look into the update of Kizahara Leo, we'll be updating about what happened to Kizahara Leo on lap 1 after the race. But whatever it is, he is fueled right now. He, after a DNF at race 2 in Okayama, another DNF is definitely not in the cards. And we'll be taking a look at Alex Grant versus Raji Kaczynski.
Yeah, not exactly the fortunes he wants to have here. He wanted to, solidify his place in the championship, but that's not exactly how you do it.
Which is why he is fuming at the moment. He knows he's got a championship to fight, and he's probably have the championship to lose there. And speaking of guys in the championship hunt right now, Muhammad Shazren is looking to gain another 100 points as it stands, as Muhammad Shazren is going to commit to the overcut strategy with how much fuel that he has topped. Ariadne is going to be doing the opposite of his strategy. He's going to do undercut, and we're going to be taking a look with the Hololive sponsorship there. Meanwhile, it's a Nissan 3.4. Azad has just made the pass on Alex Bowen there for 5th, and it's going to be a Nissan 3.4.5, and Alex Grant has made the pass on Raji Kaczynski as well.
He's not quite the elegant 2x2 formation, but the manufacturers definitely set themselves up in their own little groups. Of course, Shazren Reds are taking the sweep in the previous round and probably aiming to do the same thing today.
And what will be a good story there for Shazren to at least win one race in Sepang. Meanwhile, between another side-by-side battle, then Lexus are falling behind just a little bit there. The highest Lexus is now currently 7. Alex Bowen is doing the best of her abilities to try to stay up in the points as much as possible, but there's a bit of a trump card there with the Lexus that all the other car manufacturers don't have, which is where if they can do the undercut and they are being placed in clean air, and the Lexus cars can really do well in clean air, but in dirty air and under the constant threat of the cars in the slipstream, that is where the Lexus will struggle and will not perform very well. If you take a look at some of the gaps there, Sandy is getting quite close into Shiden. Shiden really doing very well there in his debut race in Holo GT3. He's currently in the podium positions.
He has a very solid debut there, trying to keep up as the highest placed Nissan at this point, but of course still right behind him, but hopefully not going to be like the Hondas where they just collide into each other.
Yeah, being some kind of Honda Civil War that we talked about the Honda Civil War multiple times there throughout the season so far. We've seen Malaysians in the number 30 Okayama Honda and Himemori Luna in the number 4 Malaysian Honda tackling with each other at Okayama, and that kind of hampered their progress during the race. Here comes another battle there for position. Here's on board with Baba Zuhair, and we're going to be seeing a live overtake in progress. So it feels down the inside of the Australian. It's a 22 versus the 08, and it's a 22 edging ahead into turn 15.
Again, making use of that slipstream plus the superior straight line speed with that powerful engine for that great overtaking. Of course, Jared Ellis now the first one to pit.
Yeah, Jared Ellis will be the first to pit, and Alex Grant as well. These are the first two drivers who will be committing to the pit stop. They will be pitting on lap 7. They will be trying to commit to the undercut strategy. And basically, with the undercut strategy, basically pit early, get some clean air, make up lost ground with the second stint, with the clean air, no traffic, all that stuff, compared to your opponents who will have to be stuck in traffic in dirty air. And once they pit, it is expected that you, if you have enough of a gap, you will be edging ahead of your rivals who are not doing the undercut. But it would be curious to see what Alex Grant and Jared Ellis would do.
Yeah, curious to see what they could do in clear air. It looks like at this point the field there's a bit of spreading now, but there's not really that very large gaps with the exception of the leader, so dirty air and that traffic will be playing in as a factor.
But especially Ariadne is looking to make what you call a undercut strategy as well, as Ariadne will be the next ones to pit. Actually, no, Ariadne also kind of popped into the field, so they are basically both of these guys are committed to the same strategy. So those who are not committed to the same strategy is Santini, who is looking to pit next time by, I believe, as does Abiazat. Momozoe won't be long to pit as well, as does Alex Bowen. Alex Bowen is going to pit this lap or the next lap. Dan Powell as well, he's going to pit as well. Kind of. Miguel Castro will be in the middle as well, as does Sean Pauli, who's going to try to make the overcut strategy work. Now, basically, the overcut strategy is the opposite of the undercut strategy. Try to stay as long as possible as the track basically deteriorates over time. And because the track deteriorates over time, you really want to be sure you want to be the last one to pit. Because if you pit and you can't warm your tires, the guys who will be doing the overcut will definitely pass you by pit strategy.
It's all about tire temperature here, especially as we get to later in the day for the second race. As well. Bowen into the pits now as well.
Because we're taking a lot of drivers there. Sandy is the next driver to pit, as does Abe Azad, and as does Alex Bowen. They'll be the next ones to commit the pit strategy. Meanwhile, we're taking a look into some of the other drivers there in the field. Shazren is still holding on quite a good lead there. 5 seconds separating the Malaysian and the Brazilian in Gabriel Ariadne. Kento Shiden is also holding up quite well in 3rd place. Mama Zuhair is in 4th. Dan Powell is now up to 5th. He's going to be cycling up to 5th position to the pit strategy from other drivers. He hasn't pitted yet. Miguel Castro is 6th. Sean Paul is in 7th. Kaczynski is in 8th. And Gibbons is in 9th.
Yes, the Lexus are going a bit backwards in this race, still trying to get their way back up, especially with the pit strategies, so we're expecting some shuffling in the order with the variety of strategy here, with, as you mentioned, the undercut and overcut strategies.
Well, we're going to be taking a look into some of the other drivers here, as we're going to be taking a look into the last drive. Oh, look at this. Alex Grant has passed Santini by pit strategy. Looks like the undercut is working for the drivers here. If Shiden can pit earlier and Zuhair can pit earlier and try to make up ground, on the second stint as Shazren Reza and Ariadne finish their first stints, they may just be able to find the pace advantage that they'll be looking to possibly take the lead in the race. So don't count Shiden and Zuhair out of the running for the race win yet.
still, I think no matter where they come in this battle, like it's a very great performance from our debutant. So really is again well into it, even in the first race.
Tom Polly there, meanwhile, is going to be taking a look into the battle there with Miguel Castro, because Castro is quite slow there on the third sector there into turn 14, exiting turn 14. Polly has the slipstream, but Castro has the engine power, so it's going to be even out there into turn 15, but we're going to be curious to see on who will be taking what you call the deep line, who's going to be taking the late apex. Looks like both drivers are still holding on to their positions quite fine. Polly is still on the slipstream of Castro, and we'll see if he wants to try to make a dive bomb down the inside. Not far enough, so it's quite far, not close enough for Polly to try to make a move. They're holding steady in 6 and 7.
Yes, even with that slipstream, Nissan showing its more runs in the engine, I think even slightly creeping away even with the slipstream behind.
Oh yes, we're going to be taking a look at the live gaps as well. Shazren is pulling away from Ariadne. I think the Hondas here are actually working together just a little bit. The Nissan, of course, Shazren has just made the move on Alex Bowen there. And typical Nissan overtake on Lexus. But yeah, Ariadne is in second place as a result, is holding on to a mere 6-second lead. She then in third place is actually closing up just a little bit to Ariadne. But whatever the case is, the live gaps between Shazren and Shinden, it looks to be that they are around 7 seconds between each other. So if Shinden wants to pit, he's gonna need to pit right now, because if he doesn't pit right now, then the overcut strategy may not work. I'm sorry, no, the undercut strategy may not work.
And possibly as well that Ariadne like maybe try a bit looking up to back up the Nissans into the pack behind, and just let Shazren just absolutely take it.
While Polly there is really faster than Castro in the second sector. And in the third sector as well, looking into turn 13, he's really closed up into the Chilean, into turns 13 and 14. Look at this, Shape is on what you call the wide line, taking the late apex there into turn 14, but will it be enough for Polly to make the move on Castro?
Yes, taking that wider line, trying to keep that momentum